I'm in.
Zone A, Sector 9. Stand by for ID.
Sit down.
Replication center.
This looks like the sex machine I have at home.
Now answer as quickly as you can. You're in a desert. You look down and you see a tortoise. You reach down, you flip the tortoise over on its back.
And I bang it, right?
The tortoise lays on its back, its belly baking in the hot sun, beating its legs, trying to turn itself over, but it can't.
Yep, I definitely that turtle. I was going to keep my mouth shut. I wasn't going to say anything, but I feel inclined to now. You know they made a new Blade Runner, right? You know that, don't you? And some people are saying it's better than this one. How do you respond to that emotionally? That's what I thought. My God, where is he?
I did not intend to keep you waiting.
Oh, for f***'s sake, you're like a bad magic trick. Talk normal, or at least somewhat normal. What are you? You were a terrible Joker in Suicide Squad, and that's why they cut most of your scenes. It had to be said. It really did. And he's barely in this film, and I wonder why.
Have changed the hands of progress.
Yeah. Yeah, that's you. I wrote it myself. Are you scared yet? Your lip is a quiver, so I'll take that as a yes. I'm also going to take this scare up a notch. Callie. Not Kaylee or Kelly. Callie. I hate it. Hate it. Can you hit the lights, please? Peekaboo.
5-1000, breathe. This is not working. Joe, take over.
There's no reason to revive her. We're going to be phasing all of you out in less than 30 years. Just let her go to sleep. It's fine.
No!
I'm sorry, my hands are tied. We have to. We just do. But you're not going to go alone. No. RoboCop, Point Break, Psycho, Shot for f***ing Shot. Some of them will just play off like they're sequels, such as Vacation and Jumanji. But they'll know. The audience will figure it out on their own. We'll do prequels. We'll do sequels 20 years later. We'll do spin-offs, origin stories for characters you didn't even think mattered at all.
Please don't.
I'm sorry, pretty woman, but it's time to cut you loose. Footloose. Hey, kid. You wanna come down in the sewer and play with me and get your arm f***ing ripped off? Everybody floats down here. We're having a good time. Get down here! Sorry. That wasn't cool. That wasn't cool. Just come on down. I want to eat you.
I cannot smash the window!
Ah! Why does every Black Friday go down this way? Mop guy, watch your step. Oh! Oh!
Where are the goddamn extinguishers?
Okay, now you're just making a mess. The only thing crazier than this is the opening of Dawn of the Dead. I'm gonna go debate them right now. Transition run. It's The Mist versus Dawn of the Dead on Movie Feud.
In the back of my mind, I was always saying, better them than me.
I don't want to die here.
Yeah. I don't want to die here either. Granted, I do run a YouTube channel that has very little respect or notice, so basically dead inside already.
Yeah.
Let me come in.
Hey! You know what's not helping right now? You're fucking yelling. My God, you are ruining this moment for me. It's a beautiful moment and you're ruining it. Merlin's beard, yes! This is awesome! I need to get in on this. There. Wow, what a rush. It's too bad the sequel didn't quite hit the same peaks this one did, huh, Galahad? Galahad. Hello? Right, I'm obviously not here. I'm gonna go start the show. And we're live. Hopefully, maybe, things are going correctly today. You just never know. It's kind of a wild card situation, whether the audio is going to be on, whether the lighting is going to be correct. You have no idea how down to the wire things can get on this. You know, I have a family. I have children and a wife and responsibilities. So between getting dinner ready, making sure my actual job's work's done, getting the kids in bed, speaking to my wife once in a while, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. So we are a little late today. I apologize, but we have some fun news. We got some good stuff coming up today. This is going to be a fun show. I can feel it in my bones. If you saw some of the previously stuff from the past, those were all little nuggets from videos I did spanning multiple years where I kind of injected myself into movie scenes, and it was a fun time. Nice little throwback. Hopefully, we have audio, we have video. I'm going to look in the chat quick just to make sure things are at least firing on all cylinders or a couple of the cylinders. I don't actually know how many there are supposed to be. 4? 8? I have my Coke on the rocks, of course. I like my Coke like I like my Dwayne on the rocks. That might have been worse than my last pun with this, but whatever. We're on the fly. People in the chat trying to be funny, saying the audio's amiss, but then it's all good. Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you for telling me what I was assuming. Here's a little play out of how things are going to go tonight. We got 3 phases. We got 3 different topics. We have the disaster that is Ezra Miller / Jonathan Majors. That whole situation between those two superheroes. Might be Super Zeros very soon. Who knows? We have Superman Legacy news from James Gunn. And we're bringing back something real fun I'm very excited about, which is the poster breakdown videos. Evil Dead Rise comes out in just a few short days. I want to look back on the Evil Dead franchise. We have a poster from Evil Dead 1, Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness, and the new film. I'm excited to bring them back. I know people really like that series. I didn't really give it a proper chance to breathe. I only think I did 8 or 9 episodes of it. So we're going to do that once a week on the channel to kind of liven things up, keep things fresh. I also have one more fun announcement, something else that I'm going to be doing. Let me just hang on with me. I have a little bit of a hype trailer for this. Yeah, this will be done weekly, so enjoy. X-Men 2, let's just break it down. It's got one of the greatest casts in all-time superhero history.
This week we're battling the Romans versus the Spartans. Another versus episode, Gladiator versus 300.
This is Sparta!
And this is Movie Feuds.
This show has 0 credibility and even less integrity, so no, we're well within reach. Much like a bottle of Jergens in a high school student's bedroom. Arguably 2 of the best of the franchise go head-to-head with Prisoner of Azkaban taking on the Goblet of Fire. It's gonna be a good match.
The choice is
Jesus
easy.
Christ.
Prisoner of Azkaban is the clear winner.
God?
It's determined that kids don't give a fuck if the movie's older than 20 years. This episode's rated PG-13, so I get the obligatory 1 swear word for edginess. Let's get started with the feud.
James Marsden, obviously best known for his role as the voice of Diggs in Cats and Dogs, The Revenge of Kitty Galore, plays Tom Wachowski in the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. To be clear, he did The Predator, not to be confused with this movie, Predator, or the third film, Predators. Hollywood naming's fun. That's right, Movie Feuds is back, baby! Friday nights, the live stream is going to be Movie Feud-centric. How that's going to play out exactly? I don't know, but we're going to do it, and it's going to be awesome. Whether I invite a guest on to debate, like Tony from Hack the Movies, or Jonathan Paula, or whatever. We'll get fun people in here. Or perhaps super chats can be included and people can actually hop in to the stream and I can debate you. We can just make this a lively affair. And it doesn't even have to be a movie versus a movie per se. It can be DCEU versus MCU. It could be one movie and whether or not it's good. That's the thing I'm excited about. That's the thing that I actually started doing on the channel all the way back in 2011 with Corey. My co-host at the time. We just picked a movie, Spider-Man 2, X-Men 2, Elf, whatever, Jumper, if you remember Jumper. And we debated the pros and cons of it and stated our case. Of course, it was rough. It was a rough show, but we were just getting our beaks wet. And I really want to bring that concept back because Movie Feuds has always been kind of the bread and butter of the channel. It's always been that anchor, that strong point. And it was the reason I got into this, which is to debate film. It's a thing I'm really good at. So if you think you have what it takes, you have a couple bucks to throw to Super Chat, I put you into a video lobby, I bring you onto the stage for a couple minutes, and we just back and forth debate. Maybe I have a carpool of people, and it's a round robin situation. Listen, this thing's in flux. Clearly, streaming isn't my will forte. I'm very new at this still. Even though I've been doing YouTube videos for over a decade, I'm more of a behind the scenes, polish the videos, then put them live. Not so much this on the fly stuff. So there's going to be some learning curves going on. Hopefully we can understand and we can work together on this. I think it could be a freaking blast. That was the big news I had. I really wanted to share that along with the movie posters. 2 shows that I had in the back pocket and I just kept wanting to bring them back, but I wanted to get in a good rhythm with my main just Adam Does Movies videos so that I can still put those out on a daily basis almost and then have these ones that are a little bit more polished or a little bit different. Like Movie Feuds, that's going to be a live thing now, so it's just going to be fun. I'll probably pull down the green screen, actually have the TV behind me still, maybe project the person I'm debating with next to me. We can try to get nuts. We can try to get crazy. We'll see how it works. All right. Let me just chat for a second before I jump into the first conversation item. Glad to see that people are excited about the poster breakdowns. Good. Jonah asking, when are you planning on doing another Fortnite live stream? Yeah, that's over on Twitch. Twitch.tv/AdamDoesMovies. I've been neglecting it like it's my job. I do need to unwind and play some Fortnite again for sure. I haven't even touched this season. I have no idea what's going on in that thing. No idea. I know that wasn't actually an answer. I don't know. I'm really focused on YouTube and building up this channel. So I haven't had that much time to just have fun playing games, unfortunately. Charlotte bringing up The Mandalorian last episode tonight. Yeah, I know. Charlotte, I know. I'll watch it tomorrow morning while I eat breakfast. And then I will be filming the final review, breakdown, recap thing for that. Recrap, if you will. And a review for Megamind. A Patreon request at patreon.com/AdamDoesMovies. He requested Polar Express, actually. I have that for later, towards the holidays. But in the meantime, we have Megamind, which I haven't seen since it released, so I had to rewatch it and refresh myself. It's a fun movie. I enjoy it. I'll save whatever I have to say for the video. But yeah, look for that in the next couple days, along with that Mandalorian recap. Those are always fun. Thank you, Jim, for loving the shows no matter what I do. Holt asking if I watch Succession. I do watch Succession. I'm eating it up. Absolutely eating it up. I'm not going to give any spoilers here, but I am caught up on the season. I am very much enjoying it. I'll be sad when it's over because this family's trash, and I like to swim around in it with them. Oh, Bubba makes a good point. Yeah, I don't know how many, if there's like 10 or 11 people in here. Oh, there's like 55. That's actually pretty good for this channel. Yeah, hit that notification bell on the YouTube channel page for Adam Does Movies. YouTube.com/Adam Does Movies. There's a dumb little notification bell. You have to push that thing for these videos to actually notify you or to show up in your feed. Otherwise, this is so sad. Again, I've been doing this for a long time, and this is new information for me. I used to mock this crap whenever I'd see it on other channels. They're like, make sure to hit that notification bell. It's actually very important. Because I looked at my analytics a few weeks ago, and it said something like less than 10%. I think it was like 8% of your subscribers have hit the notification bell. So what happens when you don't hit it is YouTube just will kind of arbitrarily show you videos from things they think you'll like from your channels that you subscribe to. And other things, it depends on what tab you're in on YouTube, actually. But if you're on your main channel page with things you're subscribed to, you might not even see my videos unless you have notifications turned on. They'll ghost me otherwise, depending on what you're, what you like to look at outside of my stuff. So that's very important. It's paramount to hit the notification bell. Thank you, Bubba, for bringing that up. Shane Oquist also in the chat saying the same thing. He's sounding the alarm on the bell, which is he's actually ringing the bell. I was gonna put a video out on YouTube just that was specifically stating, hey, can you please ring the bell on the channel page? And then I thought, well, what if that video is suppressed because they didn't ring the bell prior? Would they even see the video asking me to ask them to ring the bell? Like it's such a screwed up circle. I don't know, but I'll try making a video on it tomorrow and getting that out at some point. Yeah. What else we got? Mando recaps are always great, even more entertaining than the actual show at this point. There was I used to watch The Walking Dead until it turned to absolute dog shit around like season 4 or 5. I'm being generous. I don't know when other people thought so, but it stayed entertaining enough for a long time. But then I was hate watching it for like 2 more seasons. And the only reason I kept even hate watching it was because there was an author on, I don't even know, College Humor or Cracked or some website that did these breakdowns of the episode, and they were just in written form, but they were so freaking witty, so funny, and they were always the observations I got from the show, so it felt like there was a buddy with me that was going through this pain. And so that's kind of what I'm doing with The Mandalorian. Because I did enjoy season 1 and 2 so much and have kind of hated season 3 all around, I'm just bitter and watching it mad and angry, but wanting to give people the service of feeling like they're not alone in their thoughts. And it's been a good time. It's been a lot of fun. That's why I'm not doing like a Succession breakdown or talking about each episode of Veep or Always Sunny in Philadelphia or Curb Your Enthusiasm or the shows that I actually really love. Because, there's not really any fun commentary to state. It's like, okay, in this episode, funny stuff happens and I'm really happy and it's great. The end. Nobody wants to watch that. Well, maybe someone does, but not me. I heard Severance is great. Apple TV is like the only service I don't subscribe to, so I just can't justify another freaking streaming app. There's too many. I thought the notification bell would email me or something. Yeah, guy, the notification bell does what it wants. I just know it needs to be pushed. Need to hit it. Charlotte says it notified me 30 minutes before the stream started. Oh, well, that's nice. And then Charlotte got to wait an additional 15 because I ran behind. So that's perfect. Everybody wins. Yeah. At this point, I'm only continuing watching The Mandalorian because Pedro is in it. Charlotte, is he? I don't even know. He's only doing the voice kind of half-heartedly, and it could be a totally different person wearing the suit. It probably is another person wearing the suit. I get your point, though. I get your point. All right, let's go to the first topic, which is kind of an ugly one, to be honest with you. I will record this, so I record separately on the much nicer camera, and I will record the audio separately. Whether or not we use it or not it's debatable. Sometimes I use these on the channel, sometimes I don't. But the goal now is to make the live stream, the Friday one specifically for movie feuds, that's really only meant to be like for that event. I mean, I could try recording the movie feud, I guess, but really it's just meant to be kind of the night of. So we're all sharing in this moment together, and then it's lost in the ether. I mean, you can go back and watch the lives. I keep them up, but it's not going to be recorded and like pampered and cleaned up like some of these videos are. And then on the Tuesday ones, you're really kind of getting a little bit of both. We're having conversations off camera. I'm doing some live recordings, and then you get a little bit of the process plus a little bit extra. I think it's a good marriage of the two. All right, I'm hitting record. Got the Yeti going. Got the phone recording. Let's do it stupidly. No one even knows what this is anymore, but I'm gonna do it. Wrong. I'm looking at the wrong one. This just in. Jonathan Majors and Ezra Miller are in major trouble. Let's talk about it. Major's trouble, I guess it would be. Maybe I should say that. This just in. Jonathan Majors and Ezra Miller are... This just in. Jonathan Majors and Ezra Miller are in major's trouble. Let's talk about it. I think that was okay. Maybe do one more. This just in. Jonathan Majors and Ezra Miller are in major's trouble. Let's talk about it. We'll see. We'll see which one I choose. Okay. Bring up the article. What's his name? Kang? Is his name Kang in the MCU? I better wait for someone to answer that question. I'm just waiting for someone to answer the question. Is it Kang? Yes. Okay. So, Kang the Conqueror. According to a recent Deadline report, Entertainment 360, what? Let's start with the Jonathan Majors news. According to a recent Deadline report, Entertainment 360 has dropped him from their agency. Yeah, there's an agency out there called Entertainment 360 still. Remember 360 when that was the buzz term attached to everything? Xbox 360! That's the one that started it back in 2005. Why do I know that date? Anyway, this is bad news. This is troubling because Jonathan Majors has found himself in a world of hurt. The actor was arrested on March 25th over an alleged domestic dispute with The actor was arrested on March 25th over an alleged domestic The actor was arrested on March 25th over an alleged domestic dispute with a woman in her 30s. This is, of course, not like... The unnamed victim was taken to the hospital with... Okay. Oof. The unnamed victim was taken to the hospital with minor injuries to her head and her neck. Thankfully, they weren't majors. Injuries? Can I say the same joke twice? It's so lame. This is not funny. This is actually trouble. And not just for Jonathan Majors' future as a film star, but also for the people that kind of invested time and energy into him, such as the MCU. He was recently in Creed 3, where he did a fantastic job. And he was also in And he was also in Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantum Shidia, which I didn't like very much, obviously, by the way I handled that title. I didn't think he was great in that either. Really didn't, so no love lost for me. I do have a beef with actors getting replaced in roles. It's not like MCU hasn't done it before, though. It's just going to be really awkward in this instance because they put a lot of chips on this guy. Kang the Conqueror, which his character was called, was going to be like the big bad of the MCU for phase 5 and 6 and whatever. I don't actually care that much, but I'm sure some people do. I'm looking at the wrong camera. Oh my God. Oh my God. I think I've been looking at the wrong camera the whole time. Wipe out. I was looking at that camera. I need to look at this camera. It's so different too. Oh, fuck my ass. This just in. I can't believe I have to redo this live. Oh no. Oh God. This just in. Jonathan Major and Ezra Miller are in Major's trouble right now. Let's talk about it. According to a recent report from Deadline, a talent agency called... According to a recent report from Deadline, a talent agency called Entertainment 360, yeah, that's still a name someone has in 2023. Entertainment 360. Remember 360 when it was applied to everything thanks to the Xbox 360 back in 2005? It's really sad I know that date still. Barely list off all the states in the country. Anyway, yeah, this isn't good because Jonathan Majors has got himself in a world of hurt. Not as much hurt as he put on an alleged woman in her 30s that he gave neck and back injuries to. Nope, neck and head. Not as much hurt as the 30-year-old woman he inflicted Not as much hurt as the injuries inflicted to a 30... Why am I segueing like this? Oh, God. Let me just read right off of it. This recent move by Major's longtime manager comes 3 weeks after the magazine Dream star was arrested on domestic violence charges in New York City. The actor was arrested March 25th over an alleged domestic dispute with a 30-year-old woman. The unnamed victim was taken to a nearby hospital with... Nearby? How do they know if it's... The unnamed victim was taken to the hospital with minor injuries to her head and neck, according to authorities. Thankfully, the injuries weren't majors. I already made the joke. Thankfully, the injuries weren't majors. I know I already made the joke once, but I can't help myself. This isn't a laughing matter, because this means some bad things for people that are fans of his. Can I talk? Are these sentences? This is trouble. This is trouble, not just for Majors and his... This is trouble, and not just for Majors and his acting career, which is probably in hot water, but also for people that invested time and energy into him. We saw him in Creed 3, where he was fantastic as a rival to Apollo. We saw him in Ant-Man Quantumshidia. Not as big of a fan as that one, obviously, by the title I gave it. He played Kang the... He played Kang the Conqueror, which was going to be the big bad for all the phases going. Not all the phases. He played Kang the Conqueror, who's going to be the big bad going forward with the rest of Phase 5 and further on. Or I don't even know what phase we're on. I couldn't care less, to be honest with you. But people do care, especially Marvel, who probably put a lot of investment into this guy. I mean, I just don't know what they're going to do in this situation. My guess, after Loki Season 2 quietly comes out, because Majors already filmed all the stuff for that season, they're probably going to move on. Probably going to kind of just shirk him aside, reshoot with someone else. It wouldn't be the first time an actor was replaced in the MCU, or maybe they just stay mum on it. Maybe they stay quiet. It's hard to know. It really... He could also be found innocent of all of... He could also be found innocent. He could also be found innocent. According to his attorneys, he absolutely is. They have video footage and everything. So we just have to play time. All right? Time's a factor here, unlike it is for Kang the Conqueror. We'll see if he continues to conquer moving forward or if things just keep getting worse. Speaking of worse, let's talk Ezra Miller. Holy shit, folks. Woo! Put a sticky note under the correct one. Yeah. Ezra Miller, man, this is a shit show. Ezra Miller, one of the stars of Fantastic Beasts and Where to Hopefully Never Find Them Again, and The Flash, is the human embodiment of a shit show. This person, I think it's a they go by a they. Honestly, it breaks the language barrier for me. I have a hard time sticking to the they, them, the, so I'm going to try my best, but I mean... Like, English is my first language. It's really hard to separate that with the pronouns and stuff. So just forgive. Forgive me for not understanding how to go about speaking to this insane person. Because from the sounds of the articles, he kind of... Oh, there it was. They kind of are trash. But it's all allegations, right? It's all hearsay. Perhaps... the slate is fully clean, no wrongdoing. Let's go down some of it. Let's go down some of this list. It started in 2020. Let me take you back to a simpler time of 2020, where Limp Bizkit had a huge hit song and Smash Mouth was on their way. No, that's not right. That was way sooner than that. It was 3 years ago. Oh, God. Back in 2022, he had some misconduct, some wrongdoings, some domestic disputes, some payoffs. He paid like $500 of a fine because he was harassing a woman. Just like, just like flashes being flashes or something. But in 2022, that's when Flash hits the fan. I'm just going to read off of this. What is this from? I'm just going to read off this Time article because I can't possibly keep it in my head, and I have better things to worry about in my day outside of what Ezra Miller is doing with his life, their life. The nature of the allegations made against Miller grew more insidious when it was reported that they, meaning Ezra, allegedly groomed young fellow. Oh my God. The nature of the The nature of the allegations made against Miller grew more insidious when it was reported that they, meaning Miller, allegedly groomed young followers and organized a sort of commune in an Airbnb. Yeah, it appears there's a cult going on, or was going on at some point. I'll continue. A source told Business Insider in their extensive investigation of the embattled actor, it's a bizarre phrase, whatever, between Miller's makeshift commune, their monologues on spirituality, and their emotional outbursts, rumors began to circulate that the star was running a cult. See, I got there before the article did. The story detailed the relationship between Miller and the indigenous? The story detailed the relationship between Miller and the indigenous activist Dakota Iron Eyes, whom Miller met when she was 12 years old. Miller invited Iron Eyes to the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them premiere when she was 14. If that's not torture alone, I don't care how old you are, getting invited to the Fantastic Beasts film, that's disgusting. That's grounds for arrest. But that's not even the half of it. In June 2022, her parents, concerned about the relationship, were granted a temporary protective order that would require Miller to stay away from their daughter. Insider reported that tribal documents accused Miller of being abusive towards Iron Eyes for years and trying to sleep in the same bed as her when she was 14. The source also tells Insider that they saw Iron Eyes and Miller having sex in December 2021. Iron Eyes denies this, as well as the notion that Miller had groomed or abused her. Rolling Stones reported in June 2022 that Miller had been housing a 25-year-old mother and her 3 children at their estate in Vermont since mid-April. According to the publication, 2 people have expressed concerns about the estate being an unsafe environment for the children. Yeah, no shit. Miller told the authorities last week that they have not lived in the estate for months, which authorities said they believe to be untrue. So false. Well, that was certainly a mouthful, and I have to say, disgusting at the same time. Now, again, allegations. It doesn't sound like he's been arrested for anything. Possibly completely, innocent in this whole thing. I'm not so sure I care. I don't think he's a good actor. So regardless of any of the shenanigans and disgusting acts of cowardness, he's doing... Cowardness? What? Just words. Just say words. So outside of the shenanigans and disgusting behavior that Miller is involved in, if true, I just kind of hate him as the Flash and pretty much every other thing I've seen him. Fuck them. Every other thing I've seen them doing. It's so stupid. The Flash comes out, The Flash isn't that far away from coming out. It's got Ezra Miller, it's got Michael Keaton, it's got Ben Affleck, Batfleck's in it, it's got a new Supergirl. It looks pretty damn awesome, I have to say. Not so awesome are these allegations. I predict, and this is going to be a bold prediction, Ezra Miller won't be in another DCEU movie going forward. Sorry, it's just a DCU. Ezra Miller won't be in another DCU movie going forward, which is convenient timing because the whole thing's getting reset anyways. This is just going to quietly come out. They're gonna keep Miller out of the spotlight, I'm assuming, kind of push them off to the side, and let the chips fall as they may, since nothing has been, he's not going to court over any of it, as far as I can tell from the article. Unfortunately, it's just he said, she said, they said. Now I want to hear what you have to say. What do you think of all this? Should we wait until there's actual charges before we start casting stones at people? Do we look at the myriad of issues a person's had in the past and come to a conclusion on our own? How the person lives their lifestyle? Or do we just leave it off? Or do we just not care about this stuff and move on with our life and go to these movies and not think about these people? Which is probably the healthiest thing we can do. Now, unfortunately, because of social media, people are on their phones all the time, and celebrities are also on their phone all the time. They have Instagram, they got Facebook, they got TikTok, they got Twitter, they got whatever they're using. And people can basically Truman Show their lives. Some of them will just be broadcasting 24/7. You know exactly what's going on. So they build up these relationships with people, and it's really hard to kind of disconnect. When you watch a show now, I mean, it used to be for me, I didn't really know much about the celebrity or the actor that I was watching. It was just, hey, I like Tom Cruise. He's cool in action movies. I didn't know he was in Scientology and probably kind of a garbage person, but I love Top Gun Maverick. Or, hey, look at Will Smith. He would never slap someone live on stage. That would be really weird. Well, why would he do that? Love him in Fresh Prince. Hey, it's Bill Cosby. It's Bill Cosby. He's a family guy. Yeah, that's not how it is anymore. We know what these guys are up to. We know how they think now. We know which way they vote, which church they go to. It's all on the table. So there's not that disconnection from the character we used to have, the actor or whatever. And that's unfortunate. I myself personally, I don't know. It's tough. It's a tough place to be in. I think because there's no allegations, unfortunately, you let the movie come out and you just cut ties because, again, Ezra Miller kind of sucks in my book, regardless of anything they're doing. Yeah. All right. Like this video if you got some education or just had a fun time. Subscribe if you like movie content, news, reviews, things of that nature. Because I put them out every week. I would love to have you stick around. Oh, also, if you've been here for a while, there's a notification bell. Make sure to ring that thing so these show up right in your feed. I'm told that nobody hits that bell unless you tell them. And that's actually very important, or these will not show up in your timeline feed. So I've told you now. I'm going to tell you more often. All right, thanks for watching. Hopefully I'll see you next time. Ugh, million miles an hour. Million miles an hour. I lost everything I was looking at before. Here we go. I think there are welcome people that are new to the stream. I've been ignoring you because I was filming this, filming separately than the live. It's all happening in real time. It gets messy. Sometimes I look at the wrong camera and I have to re-record what I was doing, which is what happened a little bit ago. Okay, let's go to the next. Let's go to the next piece of news. The next topic is Superman Legacy news. This shouldn't take too long. It's really not much of anything, to be honest with you. It's a slow news day. Slow news day. But we can probably milk it out. We can pad it a little while. Oh shit, did I hit record on the... Oh, see, I almost screwed myself over. Hit record. Okay. Superman had a birthday or something today. I don't really know. But James Gunn was happy about it. He was very gun-ho about sharing news about the new Superman Legacy film. Let's give you some of the details now. I'm going to give you some of the details now. Come on, join me. We're just heading this way. According to Variety, which is where I pulled the article from, and James Gunn's own Twitter, so it's from his mouth to yours, to your ears, I guess. James Gunn announced on Twitter that pre-production on Superman Legacy has begun. The 2025 comic book tentpole will be the official launch of the new DC universe, as supervised by Gunn and his DC Studios co-head, Peter Safran. James Gunn said, and I quote, "I'm honored to be part of this legacy." Because it's called Superman Legacy, so he did a play off of the title there, if you don't get it. What I mean is, the movie that he's making is called Superman Legacy, and he said, "I'm honored to be part of this legacy," so he used the same word that was in the title. Are you following? Are you understanding this? Let me break it down even more for you. So dumb. The film was confirmed in January when Gunn and Safran revealed that the first slate of film and television titles for the new DC universe... Oh, God. That was a terrible read. The film was confirmed in January when Gunn and Safran revealed the first slate of film and television titles for their new DC universe. In addition to Superman Legacy, films such as Supergirl, World of Tomorrow... Gross. A female-led superhero movie? P.U. No thanks. Sarcasm. It's sarcasm here. We love strong female leads. And when it comes to flying ones with capes, it's about time. They're also doing a Batman Brave and the Bold. It's going to be him and Robin. I assume they're going to be in the spandex with the old school, crappy Batmobile. It'll be schlocky as all hell. I'm here for it. I'm all in. Per the synopsis, which is a fancy word for story. So dumb. So dumb. Per a first synopsis, which is a fancy word for story. It's more like a story shorthand. Well, whatever. Superman Legacy tells the tale. Superman Legacy tells the story of Superman's journey to reconcile his Kryptonian heritage with his human upbringing as Clark Kent of Smallville, Kansas. He is the embodiment of truth, justice, and the American way, guided by human kindness in a world that sees kindness as kind of old-fashioned. Kind of a faux pas. Now we step on people. Now we insult people. That's the new way. But Superman's going to save that. He's going to come down with his red tie, his spandex, his underwear, the crest, the S. It's going to be a whole thing. It's going to be a whole thing. As of late March, Gunn confirmed that no actor was currently in talks to become the new Superman except one, Tom Holland. That was a joke. That's not actually happening. Oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I didn't hit record on the other one. We haven't had any problems in past lives hitting record on things, and now it's just a complete disaster tonight. I don't know what's going on. There was good material there, too. There was good material there. Good! All right, we're going to brush past it. I'm going to do you the favor, and I'm not going to record this one. I gave you the news. You got it. We shared in it. We reveled in it together. And that's just that. Because honestly, this isn't that much information anyways to really milk out a movie or video. That's what I'm telling myself. Superman Legacy is scheduled to open in theaters on July 11th, 2025 from Warner Brothers. Fuck. Let me stop the audio. That's now completely useless. Throw that right in the trash. Yep, delete. Good night, sweet prince.
It's just one of those days. Feeling like a freight train. Yeah, Knight, it is recorded on the live, but I'm using if you look at this live feed compared to the actual shows on my channel, it's pretty different. Like the quality of the audio and the video are much better on the episodes that I put out. They're two different cameras. Yeah, Lindsay, that's not happening. I'm just too... I'm too organic. If someone else is in the room, I feel uncomfortable. Oh, yeah, that's a good point, Lindsay. My wife, who's in the chat for some reason, she says that I should share with you some tragic news. Maybe it shows up. Yeah, it kind of looks like Dumbledore's hand in Half-Blood Prince, when he reveals to Harry that a poison has gone through and his hand has turned all like purple and blue and disgusting. What happened was I was doing some yard work over the week. Well, not really. I was power washing the house, and I had to dump some of the old plants into the trash. Well, they're in these big ass orange vases, or vases if you will. And I lifted the fucker up and I went to dump it in the receptacle, which is a fancy word for trash can. And as I flipped it, I dropped it like it's hot on my finger, which I thought was teetered over the edge, but there was a lip. So it caught it and smashed it down, and this is what I'm left with. I don't know if that shows up. Compared to these, you know. It looks kind of pretty, but I can assure you that it hurts like hell. Probably will fall off. I'll probably lose the nail. It's really a sad situation. It's really sad over here. Okay, we're going to move into poster breakdowns. This should be fun. Sheila's been fired and rehired so many times. She's awful. Yes, Sheila was the worst. Kind of showing a lot of skin today. Maybe I should button this up a little bit, but we'll leave it. We'll leave it. It looks like I'm on vacation, which is what I always try to go for now. My uncle's finger looked like that when he got it slammed in the grill door. You might got to get it drained. Oh my gosh, that sounds terrible. No, I don't think I need to get drained. It's just, I mean, I might lose the finger. At the end of the day, I only need 9 anyways, so one less appendage. Okay, let's go to let's go to the third topic, since that one went so swimmingly. Evil Dead Rise movie posters. It's actually going to be all the Evil Dead movie posters. And feel free to point me to one that I only grabbed one from each of the major movies. So I got Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness, and Evil Dead Rise. It's so hard now to find any information about who made these posters, although I do know who made the first one. And like, what is an official poster anymore? It's just really hard to know. I don't know a good database to find that tells you. So give me one second. Okay. I'm actually going to bring a poster up for you. So you'll see this, and when I'm recording this on the actual camera that I'm hitting record on right now, cling, they won't see that. That's going to show up separately. I'll like shift my video over, and a poster will go right here or right here. Like this whole video will move over, and there'll be a cool little, I'll do something fancy. I'll do something fun. All right, we have the Evil Dead poster. Let me blow this up even more. I'm kind of off to the side, but that's okay. It's not about me right now. Hit record on the audio.
Need some Coke. Oh my god, this director hasn't done anything. Okay, here we go. There'll be some starts and stops, I can assure you. Welcome to Graphic Artist. Fuck, it's been a while since I've done one of these. How do I start this? I know how to start it. Okay. With Evil Dead Rise just a few days away, I thought it would be fun to look back on the franchise as a whole at some of the movie posters, the iconic and not so iconic ones, and see how they shake out in 2023. You might want to grab a loved one or a blanket because things are about to get... You might want to grab a loved one or a blanket because things are about to get scary. Let's dive in. Title comes up. Okay, first poster. Who is that quote from? I gotta see what this pull quote's from. Enlarge, you piece of crap. I can't read that. All right, I'll have to look on the internets to see. Oh, it's Stephen King. Okay, wow, that's... Okay. The first poster is from the classic Evil Dead all the way back in 1981. Directed by Sam Raimi, it stars Bruce Campbell. Fantastic film. Nice start to this property. It's the artist is like Humphreys. I remember his last name is Humphreys. It's like Graham Humphreys, I think. Come on, look it up. I'm pretty sure it's Graham Humphreys. Graham. Yes. Yes. Okay. House of a Thousand Corpses, Nightmare on Elm Street, I believe he did. Come on, come on, come on. Jesus, he did a lot of horror posters. I'm almost positive he did Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah, we're going to go with it. This is a wonderful poster designed by Graham Humphreys, a dude that's been in the industry for over 40 years. He did iconic posters such as Nightmare on Elm Street, House of a Thousand Corpses, and here we are with the Evil Dead. Look at this beautiful display. I'm a big fan of less is more, and here we have just one central character reaching up to the sky with what presumably will be her last breath. As another hand, also just kind of parallel to the while another undead zombie reaches up from the grave, parallel to hers, you have a nice vision. You have a nice tracking point from the top left all the way down to the center. This leads your eyes right to the central figure, and it tells you a tale that's grim, a tale that's disturbing. It's a tale of death. There's a nice empty space here. There's a nice empty blue here, full of space, so that you can focus on that nice little pull quote from the legend himself, Stephen King. The most ferociously original horror film of the year. I wish I could zoom in on this. Let me bring up I gotta zoom in. I know I'm not going to be the first person to tell you that sex sells. So naturally, this is an attractive looking woman, and they went out of their way. This artist went out of his way to rip some of the key areas of her nightgown, so it reveals a little skin. Gives you a little bit of that sexual appeal too, which gets people into the theaters. Sadly, men are simple creatures. We see scary things, we see horror elements, we see a good looking woman. We're going to the theater. What I also love is the amount of detail painted to I also love the amount of detail in this poster. The painting is beautiful. You have little silhouettes here and there. You have reflection off of this gross, skinless, fleshy arm that's sticking out. I mean, skinless and fleshy that's an oxymoron. You have these cool reflections off the fleshless skin rising up from the ground. I'm showing my finger as well so you can see that. And then you have this great typography, the Evil Dead. It has almost a rock and roll and then you have this awesome, I said awesome, I'm trying to use words that. And then you have this unique icon, and then you have this unique typography, very different than most of the stuff you see in the horror genre. It's got a rock and roll aesthetic to it, which is also telling audiences this is not your traditional horror film, and it certainly wasn't. Sam Raimi moves that camera everywhere, like it's on a roller coaster. It's zooming in, it's pulling out. It's very shock and awe with this guy, and I love it. I love this poster. Oh yeah, look how he even puts the strap down on the side, showing off that shoulder, that beautiful shoulder. It's just you want to take a bite out of it yourself. It's like you're the zombie in this situation. Let's move on. Zoom all you want, there's no nudity. Oh, man. Okay, let's go to the second poster. Boo! Boo! Here we are, Evil Dead 2. I don't know who did this poster. Evil Dead 2 poster designer. Oh, it's Humphreys again? Is it really? No, I don't know who did this one. We're just gonna usually I don't even say more than I usually list off like the first movie's poster designer, and then I don't really care after that. It's because typically it becomes either irrelevant or there's no way to know. It's amazing how hard it is to find information on that. Okay, I gotta zoom in on this one. Evil Dead 2 poster. And here we have the poster for Evil Dead 2, Dead by Dawn. I can't say I love it. I really can't. It's different than the first one, maybe too different than the previous entry. They removed the logo treatment. Now we have They removed the logo treatment. Now we have a totally different typography. It's a little bit more standard. What you come to expect from a scary movie. It's almost got that dripping blood look to it. Everything's kind of oozing away from the lettering. It's punchier with the color. It's not in white anymore. There's still good negative space. I like the black off to the left side, which draws you down to the title. You do have a little bit of a, let's see. And this poster communicates a couple things to me. One, it's creepy. Two, it's also playful. Somehow they managed to make this a playful, creepy poster. It's impressive. You have human eyes looking out of a hollowed out face. Just the skull remains, but then those eyes are clearly still alive. It's pretty creative, I will give it that. I just don't like the inconsistency from the first movie to the second movie poster treatment. What else can I say about this? There's just not much. It does make good use of shadow and lighting. It's a very nice render of the skull, I will say that. There's just not a lot more to it, and definitely not something I would have up in my wall. And definitely not something I'd put up in my room. I'd be kind of concerned if someone did, to be honest. I don't really know what else to say about this one. There's just not a lot to it. Let's go to the third poster. This is a phenomenal one. That's a great poster. I gotta find the larger one to zoom in. Army of Darkness poster. Easily my favorite of this Evil Dead franchise is the Army of Darkness poster and movie. Poster, though, kicks all sorts of ass. You have Ash front and center in a power stance, total bro play. The hot chick by his side, cleavage out, of course, because again, we have to get people into the theater. Oh yeah, and the dude's rocking a chainsaw for a hand. Now, anybody that's seen these movies knows Army of Darkness is far sillier than the previous two entries. This one's a full-blown comedy. Also, there's horror elements, sure, but it's not scary. It's full-on camp in the best way possible. And I think that's what the poster's trying to convey. There's lots of references to the movie itself. You have the little versions of Ash stabbing him with the fork. You have the undead army, behind him, flags and all, and you even have skeleton crew, literally. I'll say literally. And you have skeleton warriors up front, hidden behind a vehicle, the same vehicle that will crash land at the beginning of this picture. Who illustrated this? Army of Darkness poster illustrator. I gotta figure this one out. This one's too good. Michael Husar? Clean painter Michael. How do you say this name? Huzar? Oh, come on. That's nothing. Michael Huzar. I'm going with Michael Huzar. This has that classic fantasy feel to it too. You think Star Wars when you look at something like this. The hero is larger than life, looking down at the hero is standing larger than life, standing tall over all the surrounding commotion. The woman's hiding behind her man, hoping that he's going to save the day. He's got the chest out, kind of like me, but a lot more aggressive. He's a lot more powerful, a lot more proud, I think, of his physique. And the way the painter lights this poster up is just brilliant. You have these reds and oranges illuminating everything. They start at the bottom, they work their way up through the chainsaw and the legs, they come off the side of the abs, and you even see some faint glowing in the castle behind, which ties it all together really well, up to the orange font above, which oddly says from the director of Darkman. Not from the director of Evil Dead, which makes me think Sam Raimi wants this to feel standalone-ish. He doesn't want you to think scary Evil Dead. He wants you to think something a little lighter. It's also got a hilarious tagline, trapped in time, surrounded by evil, low on gas. It's just nonsense, and that's the Army of Darkness in a nutshell. We have a nice serif font here too with really sharp points. Look at that A, look at that R, they're dangerous. It's a really cool font. It almost looks like Dracula style, you know, like those are teeth ready to strike. It works so well with this. I mean, the overall painting is just gorgeous. Huge fan of this. I could easily put this one up in the room. And maybe I should. It's funny that I'm doing these poster breakdowns, and again, I haven't updated my posters to ones that are actually like that good. These are all really basic posters. Last one. Let's do, what is it called again? Evil Dead Rise. Last but not least, we have the new poster for Evil Dead Rise. This one's got your standard modern Photoshop treatment to it. Not a bad poster. It's kind of cool. It's kind of different. I do like how it has the old school typography for the Evil Dead Rise title going all the way back to the first Evil Dead film. Very nice callback. Obviously, it's been updated. Obviously, it's been spruced up a little bit. I do like how they handled this treatment. In super duper tiny font above the title, it says from the visionary producer of the original classic. The producer! That says so little. It says so little. And they're doing that because this director has really nothing to his name. Only a few very small indie projects. So this is really the first time he's getting to step up and show his stuff. And it's kind of bizarre because this is a property that's very well beloved. It's spun a TV show. I mean, people just, this Bruce Campbell's a legend. He's got a huge cult following. I'm a big fan. So for me, they can't miss on this. This is important to get right. From the looks of the trailer, it looks like they did a damn good job. But it remains to be seen. As far as this poster goes, it certainly looks like a scene from the film. It's very focused on this mom that apparently loves her children to death. You have the 3 kids that she's pulling in close, looking directly at you saying, yeah, these kids are gonna die. This is not a healthy situation that we're living in right now. Mom's got some scrapes. The mom's got some scrapes. She's got some cuts and bruises, clearly been weathered from whatever disease is running through her body, or demonic possession is probably more likely. Notice she has a tattoo on the hand. Now, I want to know if that was pre-demonic possession or post. Maybe she's a little freakier of a mom and she got some tats. That's okay. That's fine. No judgment there. I will say she's got some pretty nice teeth. They look, I mean, very, very nicely aligned. She's probably had Invisalign at some point in time, or, I mean, there's no plans obviously on the horizon because she's got the teeth are great. She's a redhead. I appreciate that. We don't see a lot of that in cinema. It's good representation. Overall, this is a very clean, solid poster. I don't think it's anything too amazing by any means. Certainly not as great as that classic painting from the first film or the incredibly good artwork that we saw in Army of Darkness. This is just kind of a standard, solid movie poster. Now, because it's 2023 and I have a hard time figuring out what movie posters are coming from actual studios and what movie posters are coming from fans, because fans have gotten so good at this now, or just other smaller shops that have, been, or other smaller shops that are trying to make a name for themselves. Maybe they were outsourced some piece of artwork to do, but I will throw up a couple more that I think are really... But I will throw up a few more that are really well executed, just so you can see that there is still a lot of creativity left in the art. Just so you can see there is a lot of creativity left in the art department. And oftentimes, sadly, it's not coming from the big studios or and oftentimes, unfortunately, it's not coming from the big studios. It's not coming from those big pipelines. It's from the little guy working out of his house. Okay, well, there you have it. Some of the posters from the Evil... Well, there you have it. Some posters from the Evil Dead property. Fuck. Well, there you have it. Evil Dead posters. You gotta love them. You gotta love this movie franchise. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Are you excited for the new movie? You think it's gonna be great, or is it gonna miss? I'm like 80% confident it's gonna be good. That's a nice place to be in 2023. Let me know in the comments, what's your favorite movie poster? And I would love to know if there's any you want to see me do next. Maybe Indiana Jones, Back to the Future. What's on the horizon for movies that we can talk about? Let me know. All right, make sure to subscribe if you haven't. Like the video if you had a good time. Hit the notification bell. That's a big one. I always forget to tell people, hit that bell. We have to. And then I'll see you next time for sure. Take care. I got to do something before I get too far in this. I have to mention to subscribe right away in this video. I keep forgetting to do that. So 1 second. All right, we're starting with the first oh my gosh, Bruce Campbell's here off camera where you can't see him. Bruce, say hi so they can... Yeah, groovy. He said groovy, so clearly he's here. What's that, Bruce? That's a good point. He said you should subscribe to the channel Adam Does Movies because I do poster breakdown videos every week, and we have to have people here. I also put out tons of movie-related content, movie reviews, rants, news stories. I mean, it's all things movies. It's called Adam Does Movies. Would love to have you. Thanks, Bruce. Yep, you can show yourself out. Yep. Okay. It's a good guy. It's a great guy. All right. Wow. Poster breakdowns. We are rusty on poster breakdown videos, aren't we? Evil Dead poster breakdown. Super Watto says, please see the Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny poster. When's Indiana Bones come out? Let me turn off my poster. Bling. Why isn't it turning off? There we go. We will do Super Watto. We will definitely do Indiana Jones posters before Indiana Jones hits theaters. You have my word, and it's worth its weight in gold. Okay, we're just gonna hang out and chat for a little while. We have about 20 minutes or so. If you have any pressing questions or things you want to know about movies, feel free to send me a super chat. Super chat's the name of the game here. We like to make a little bit of revenue on these live feeds if possible. You don't have to, of course. But that will guarantee I answer your question and not just ramble, run out the clock. Seriously though, I'm here. You ask me about a movie. What's my favorite comedy? What's the scariest movie I've ever seen? What movie do I refuse to watch? These are things that I might not even answers to, so don't ask those questions. But things of that nature, for sure. Miguel says, nice weed shirt. Thank you. Or Miguel, I'm sorry, Miguel. Thank you, Miguel. It is nice. I've never actually smoked weed or done weed. Do you inject it into your arms? Not entirely sure how to do it even. I'm just a poser at the end of the day. I don't think this is supposed to be weed though.
I kind of look at them more like palm trees, like the tops of palm trees. Charlotte asked if I work in the film industry. I don't, Charlotte. I know you do. I believe you're the one that recently was like on leave or something. They didn't need your service anymore. They got rid of a bunch of people that were your editor, if I recall, on YouTube. In the comments, I believe you mentioned you've edited some movies or shows in the past for Disney, which is incredibly cool. So no, Charlotte, you're a lot cooler than I am. You have a much more exciting job than I do. But I'm in the film industry of talking about films. So no, not at all. Oh, it's weed. What is that name? Aritra? Is that right? Arita Das, have you ever seen the 1985 Scorsese flick After Hours? Highly underrated film and one of the faves from old Marty himself. I have not seen After Hours. I've not seen it. I've never even heard of it, so that's just kind of pathetic. This is why I'm not in the film industry. Ed Boy says this Jonathan Majors thing is still going on? I thought charges were dropped. We'll see. Oh, well, I haven't heard that. The last article I saw before I went live is he got dropped by some other, like a commercial and another movie he was supposed to be in. So he's getting dropped from things right now. Charlotte says she was a VFX editor. That's awesome. That's really cool. Runes of Rude. You got that Bruce Campbell Burn Notice shirt? The Bruce Campbell Burn Notice. Oh my God. I remember watching that. It's probably the only show I ever watched on USA Today. I think that was when streaming was kind of a thing. And USA Today, you could stream the show. And I remember watching probably at least the first season, maybe some of the second. The show was just kind of lame, but Bruce Campbell was always awesome. Love Bruce. Miguel, I think it's Miguel. Miguel says, I can't wait for your Mandalorian finale review. I really enjoy your content. Thank you. Appreciate that. I'm excited for the Mandalorian as well, so that I can recap it. I actually take copious notes. And sadly, I end up watching it kind of 1.5 times, because the first time through, I'm just trying to see if I can enjoy it anymore, which often is not, it hasn't been the case yet. And 2, the second time I scrub it to kind of take notes so I can remember what to say when I record the video. It's kind of sad. Bubba throwing shade because I haven't seen 2000's Cinematic Achievement Out Cold, which I will overhype to my grave. Yeah. I'll watch it when I'm 85 and I got like crutches or a cane. And I'm like, it's time to watch Out Cold. My brother said this is one of the greatest movies ever. And I turn it on and that's what kills me. Watching Out Cold kills me. Michael says this generation seemingly has no up-and-coming Scorsese. Spielberg, Coppola, Kubrick, or Woody Allen. No, it's they have a couple. I mean, I'd say James Mangold fits in there somewhere. I'd say who did Arrival? I always forget his name. Denis Villeneuve. I can never say his name. Denis Villeneuve, or whatever it is. He's the Canadian filmmaker. He did Blade Runner. He did Dune. He did The Arrival. Or I'm sorry, just Arrival. There's another movie called, is it The Arrival, or is it also called Arrival with Charlie Sheen? That movie wasn't very good, but the ending was disturbing as shit. The ending of The Arrival with Charlie Sheen was disturbing. Workaholic owns Burn Notice. What does that mean? Like all of the seasons? How many seasons did Burn Notice end up going? And did it get canceled before it was allowed to finish, or did it actually have a beginning, middle, and end? Austin says, love your content. I also recommend After Hours. It's hilarious. It's funny. A Scorsese movie that's funny. I guess he has kind of darker humor in his stuff, but... I was going to say I thought I knew what it was for a second, but I was thinking of Night Shift with Michael Keaton, which is a funny comedy from the... Is that 80s? Late 70s? I think it's 80s. Super Wado, have you seen the 90s comedy Clueless? Yeah, the movie with Alicia Silverstone? Alicia Silverstone, the guy from Scrubs, Turk from Scrubs, I don't know his real name. Yeah, I've seen Clueless a few times. It's a hilarious movie. Alicia Silverstone was the it girl for like 4 years. She had a small run, but it was solid. She was in that Aerosmith music video. She was Batgirl in Batman Forever. She had some solid years. She actually looks great again now. I saw her not too long ago in something. I was like, Alicia Silverstone, nice job. Good for you. Oh, yeah, that's right. Paul Rudd is in Clueless. I was clueless about that. Charlotte asking what time it is where I live. It is 11:47. We're pushing closer to midnight. Minutes to midnight, really. Linkin Park. Is that the third album? Linkin Park's messy because they had so many bullshit albums in between real releases, you know? They had Hybrid Theory, and then they had the Hybrid Theory anime release, which was basically just Hybrid Theory with remixed tracks. And then I feel like they might have even had Hybrid Theory live. Then they went to Meteora, which was the actual second album for Linkin Park. And then from there, it was like another live and something else and something else. And eventually you got Minutes to Midnight, a bunch more bullshit. And then, you know, it just kind of keeps going down that track. I mean, they put out a lot of filler albums. A lot of them. You know who puts out a lot of albums is Korn. I feel like Korn signed a deal with their record label back in the day that they had to have so many records out every like decade. So they would make a new album, and then they would make 3 more new albums, and then they would make 4 greatest hits off of those albums. They have so many greatest hits. It's insane. Moving on. We have a super chat from Mindblowing TV for $10. Didn't even ask a question. Didn't even ask a question. Thank you very much, Mindblowing TV. Appreciate that. Let's see. Ed Boy asks, Adam, you have any underrated movies or anything you watched that surprised you in a good way as of recently? I feel like there was a Patreon. You know what? This was a few months back, but Nata, N-O-T-A, I don't pronounce my T's very well. Nata, he recommended Red Rocket, which was an A24 vehicle, so I was already kind of like scared out of my mind whether it was going to be a complete dumpster fire or something pretty cool. Red Rocket surprised me. I actually really dug that film. Very unconventional movie, shot like very voyeuristically. It some really good indie acting performances. It just was an all-around different, fun movie. I was not expecting anything from it. So yeah, that was one that shocked me. I wouldn't say I loved it by any means, but I certainly thought it stayed with me and I could watch it again. So yeah, that was a good, fun pick. That was a Patreon request as well. So that was appreciated. Although I'm asking my Patreons to maybe request movies that are a little bit more on the beaten path from the past or from the present that people remember, like review Transformers 2 or, you know, something that people have heard of. Oh, God.
Michael says, "Wow, it's 11:47 there and 10:48 here. It's amazing what that time change can do." There was someone watching. I can't remember where he was from, but it was like 5:30 in the morning there. So that's just unreal. That's completely surreal to me. James says, small correction, Silverstone played Batgirl in Batman and Robin, not Batman Forever. James, shot out of a cannon with an amazing response. Caught me in a lie, a full-blown lie. Yeah, you're right. It wasn't Batman Forever. Batman Forever was at least decent, even though I thought it was a major step down from the previous two entries. That's Joel Schumacher, I believe, did Batman Forever, who also would go on to the train wreck that was Batman and Robin. Yeah, what a mess. Charlotte says it's 9:51 in Alberta. Okay, well that's a reasonable time. That's a reasonable time. 3-hour time change. Bubba says Minnesota people don't even pronounce the. Is that a T? The T in the state's name. I know, Minnesota. Minnesota. I'm from Minnesota. It just it gets so much crap. My accent's not near as harsh as my wife's, but you know, we don't do like the don't you know and the you know all the time. But when you have to say where you're from, that's when the Minnesota accent really comes out. Just saying the word Minnesota, it sounds so Minnesotan. That's what really does it. Now I'm from South Carolina and nothing's changed. Charlotte says, I'm still waiting for Mando episode 8, which starts at 1 a.m. here. Gross. Charlotte, what is it going to be worth it? Why not just wake up at 6 or 7, you know? I mean, I guess that would mean you have to leave the stream. So yeah, just stick around. Michael Abraham says, hey, Adam, what editing software do you use? I use Final Cut Pro CC. Creative Cloud is what it's shorthand for. And that's mainly just because I get the Adobe software through work. And I get two licenses. We get two license keys. So you can use it on 2 different machines in tandem. Which is nice. It's very nice. What is it? Tado Gloden. You think Matt Reeves will finally put some good action in the Batman 2? Throws a little bit of shade at Matt Reeves. I will say the Batman was a little slow and a little too long. I said that in my review. Yeah, I think that he needs to step up the game as far as the hand-to-hand, the action combat go. I wouldn't say like Christopher Nolan's Batman movies are. I wouldn't say any of the Batman movies really have all that much action in them. And the action hasn't really been that great in any of the Batman movies. I can think of really cool scenes, especially in the Christopher Nolan ones, but they aren't necessarily because of the cool fighting. In the first Batman movie by Christopher Nolan, what was that? Batman Begins. It's so shaky cam crappy that it's hard to even see some of that stuff. Which is your favorite Batman? Yeah, I like Keaton. I really do. I think Michael Keaton is the best. Well, he just looks the coolest behind the cowl. He's got that lip thing, the bump in the lip in the middle. Makes him look badass. I love him as Bruce Wayne. I like his eccentric kind of almost douchey persona that he has at some points. You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts! He's a great performer. I have a soft spot for Keaton in general. I think Michael Keaton's fantastic. Bale always kind of was just a little too goofy. His mouth was always half open because he couldn't breathe in the suit. Where is Rachel? Where is she? Don't lie to me! Yeah. The thing that made the Nolan movies so good were the great villains and the cinematography. Batman was the lamest thing in the Batman movies for me. Do you think there will be a third Shazam movie, considering how the last one did? No, I do not think there will be a third Shazam. I don't even think there would have been a third Shazam movie had the movie performed decent. I think in order to have gotten a third Shazam, it would have had to do amazing numbers. Because the DCU is changing, they're rebooting in 2025, so everything that came before is getting a fresh coat of paint. Aquaman 2 will be the last Aquaman. It'll be the last time we see Jason Momoa as him. He'll probably be playing Lobo or some other character, or whatever that thing's name is. Wonder Woman's done. Like, it's all out the door. Which is really, man, Wonder Woman, what a shit show that second movie was. That just a complete train wreck. The fact that they couldn't even get a trilogy for some of these characters, like Henry Cavill's Superman. Henry Cavill was fantastic as Superman. Gal Gadot was really good as Wonder Woman, and they just couldn't make these movies work. It's a shame. Was waiting for Ant-Man to come on streaming, only saw half in the background. As for Mando, I'm in for the ride. I'm not too bothered by this series so far, but it's weaker than the first two. Oh, it's much weaker than the first two. All across the board. Miguel asks, have you been professionally trained in making cool sound effects? Just, yes, practicing with my brother, growing up fighting. That's it. Watching a lot of Jackie Chan and Jean-Claude Van Damme movies, that'll do it. That'll help hone that craft. Swear to me! You still jealous of Robert Pattinson's jawline? Yeah. I don't have a jawline. If I push back, I can kind of get one, but it's a weak man's jaw. Pattinson has that shaved, chiseled look. Tom Holland has a good one. You know who has a great one for an actress? We've been rewatching The Good Place with Kristen Bell. She has an amazing jawline. That thing is pronounced. My wife actually has a very good jawline too. I sometimes get jealous of that, but she's such a petite person. There's just really nothing there. Like I have a little bit of weight on me, so if I just started intermittent fasting or whatever the kids are doing these days, maybe I could shave down a little bit and get that jawline better, but I don't know. At 40, it just seems like a lost cause. Just saw Jackie Brown. Speaking of Keaton, I was impressed. Still don't know which is my favorite Tarantino flick. Maybe Reservoir Dogs? Yeah. I'm not huge. Like, I like Reservoir Dogs. I go to... Honestly, it'd be hands down Kill Bill if Kill Bill 2 wasn't such a disappointment. Kill Bill Volume 2 pissed me off so much. Now, time does heal wounds, that's for sure. Maybe I give it a chance someday down the road when my kids are older and I can experience Kill Bill with them. I just remember being in theaters so excited for that film and being so let down by that final half-hour monologue of bullshit. Speaking of Superman, he talks about Superman, and then the nipple twist fight at the end. It was all building to this amazing epic fight. I was picturing it out on the Sunset Beach with the katanas fighting, epic music, but no, they're in like a chair. She kicks it backwards, and that's it. It was so... God, no! Pulp Fiction, probably. Lindsay's mad that I'm talking about... Michael says, can't wait for the pendulum to swing the other way and for you to start yelling, strong male leads. Yeah, that's never going to happen. Hollywood will always be a sausage fest, regardless of how much they try to kind of equal it out with some female-led roles. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen. Gumo, pronounced like sumo. Gumo, with a $9.99 powerful super chat, very manly, strong super chat, says, favorite Van Damme movie? He said, sir. Gumo came with me with tears in his eyes, and he said, sir, what is your favorite Jean-Claude Van Damme movie? For me, I think the easy choice is Hard Target. The one where everyone is going after him. He's a hard target. At one point, he does a slow motion roundhouse. Well, that's every movie with Van Damme, but he does a slow motion roundhouse kick, takes out a parking meter, and I think there's a guitar strum, if I recall. That was the thing you did back in the 90s action movies. Roundhouse kick. All the chain starts falling. Takes that guy out, and then he's hoofing it. He's got to get away from these guys. Time Cop's a classic. That was probably Van Damme at his prime when he was an A-list movie star. Like, people were pushing him out. And Time Cop was pretty cool. Time travel movie. He was also in one... see, this is where it gets sloppy. I want to say... It's not Double Team. That movie's horrible with him and Dennis Rodman. He's in another... I think it's Double Impact, where there's two of him. He plays like a nerdier version of himself. That one's pretty cool. Sudden Death is pretty awesome. The hockey one, where there's a bomb in the arena and he's got to kick a bunch of guys' asses and find it. That's solid. I mean, I've seen so many Van Damme movies in my life. It's just pathetic. It's just sad. And most of them, they all have the same exact playbook. He goes and beats guys up. He has a love interest. There's a softcore porn scene. It was always awkward to watch with my father. And then he goes and kills more people. Wash, rinse, repeat. And I love it. Ed Boy says, have any more bad movie experiences? I love the over-the-top retellings. The most previous one was... What was the most previous one? Or the most previous one? The most recent one I had was... God, what movie did I... It wasn't Renfield, was it? Air? I think it was at Air. If you didn't see that in the review, I go off about it. But no, there hasn't been anything since Air that really chapped my ass. But that one was annoying. The people loud talking, that was miserable. Wait, did I lose the chat? Hang on. The chat is disconnected. Let me engage again. Let me go back in. Oh my god, my internet's not working. My internet is completely shot. I have no idea if I'm even live anymore. What the fuck? Well, we might have to wrap it here. That sucks. What a sad way to end. I don't see the chat working anymore, and YouTube's not loading. Oh wait, here I got my wife calling. Maybe she can add. Oh my god, I took the camera with me. Hello.
Yeah, we lost internet.
We lost internet.
I mean, it's back up now.
Oh, well, I don't know what I just like grabbed my camera and moved it, and it's a whole thing.
Yeah, I lost internet too. We went off for a bit. I think it's back though.
Yeah, it is. People are hearing this conversation live. Okay, bye. Oh god. We lost the internet for a second. It was I couldn't see. I was flying blind. It was scary. Lindsay says we're back on, but I'm about ready to wrap up anyways. Unless we have any more super chats coming in, we have to stop. I think my internet provider's like, shut him down. Shut him down now. It's getting too hot. It's getting too dangerous. The man's trying to censor me, is the bottom line. I'm glad you guys were able to kind of weather the storm through that. But yeah, it was kind of scary for us. Michael says, my favorite bad movie experience you did was when you took out the entire family in a bloody over-the-top manner. Michael, you have to be more specific. I think I've done that a few times. I do know you're talking about the Captain America Winter Soldier video, I think. Yeah, that was fun. That was a fun one. R.I.P. to those people. James says I'm live for him. Yeah, we got it figured out. We just had some throttling going on with our internet provider. Appreciate that. I pay extra for this. For the premium throttling service. Oh, Bubba says, Shane wants you to know he called you a nerd. Not sure why. Just the messenger. I appreciate that, Bubba. And that doesn't surprise me coming from Shane. It's one of my biggest supporters. Okay, yeah, we're past 12. We usually like to do, I always say I always like to do a 2-hour stream. Keep it kind of tight, keep it kind of focused. And yeah, so big news today. We had the Movie Feuds Live coming back. If it goes as well as this has always gone, then it's going to definitely be something worth watching on Friday nights. We talked about James Gunn's Superman, which didn't film correctly, so that's lost to the ether. We talked about the Ezra Miller slash what's his name? Majors, being a Majors disappointment. We'll see how that shakes out. That's the one video we got. And then we did the poster breakdowns for The Evil Dead. 27-minute recording that I have to shave down to like 8 minutes. All in all, kind of a disaster. But a disaster I'm glad you joined me for. And we'll just keep improving or disappointing. Regardless, we're still here at the end of the day. Okay, last look at the chat. Charlotte asks, if someone is annoying during a film, would you say something or let it go? Charlotte, it depends. I've let it go before and I've said something before. I have to feel out the room. See what I judge book by its cover. If this guy looks like he's up to no good, I'm not going to throw hands at a theater unless it's a really good movie. So I just have to kind of lay it all out, suss out the situation. I think it's about 50-50 with me whether I've said something or not. Usually it's the phones that bother me more than the people talking. Blind Mask, what has been the best Star Wars media you have seen or read? I mean, Empire Strikes Back is still my favorite Star Wars piece of content, unless you're talking about outside of the original trilogy. I really liked Rogue One. I know it's bottom heavy. It all builds to this crescendo final 45 minutes or so, but yeah, Rogue One was really well done. I like the first 2 seasons of Mandalorian a lot. There's Star Wars things I like here and there. Force Awakens was a great starting point that inevitably went into the dumpster with The Last Jedi. Yeah, that's about it. Bell ringer house. Oh, God. We got to come up a name for your fans, says Michael. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good thing. I guess I never thought about that. Well, maybe something to sleep on, for sure. Maybe something to mull over someday. Yeah, I'm going to let this go. Adam Does Movies almost spells Adam. Yeah, Michael, I know. I almost did a longer name, like Adam Does Awesome Movies, because then the acronym is Adam. But at the end of the day, like, what does that even serve? What's the point? So I can make a stupid t-shirt with the acronym and the name? Yeah, whatever. But I knew it was happening. The shorthand of Adam Does Movies is Adam still. Adam. So it kind of works. It flows. All right. Well, thank you very much. I'm shutting this down. Decent stream. Hope it's even better on Friday, and I hope I see you there. 10 p.m. Eastern Time. It's going to be fun. Look for more movie reviews and other nonsense the rest of the week on the channel because you've hit the notification bell. I know you hit it when I said it because that's paramount to keep these views going up and for YouTube to put me in their algorithm pocket so that other people can pull me out. What a weird final analogy to come up with, or metaphor. Okay, take care. I'm shutting this down. Have a good night.